right, we're getting ready to start here. We're getting ready to go live with After Naked Truth. Once my producer gives me the word, then we're going to go on and
get the word.
See what's going on here. So you tell me when to start. We're going to do the cold start.
Yep, there you go.
Look, y'all got me coming here, getting ready. You know, I've been watching this crime release situation with the Indianapolis homicides down for the first time in years. And Mmoja Wally has actually been talking about the statistics and what we need to do about it. I want to engage in that conversation because I think that we're trying to police ourselves out of a situation that is actually a situation or a problem with economics. Buckle up. We're getting ready to get after the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the butt naked truth. You ready?
This is not a test.
If you listen to this program, you're gonna get the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the butt naked truth. This program is X-rated.
You ready? You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
You are now tuned into the world's most honest talk show host, the Elder Mmoja, Ajabu.
Welcome. For those who don't know, this is Elder Mmoja Ajabu, your host for After Naked Truth. This program is dedicated to stripping the clothes off of well-dressed lies. And there are a bunch of well-dressed lies running around here. One of them is that the problem or the solution to solving murders in the street is to have more police, to raise the bond, to keep people in jail longer. I'm telling you, that's not the truth. That's a well-dressed lie, and we're going to strip that well-dressed lies of his clothes. So this program is X-rated. And it's X-rated because the truth won't have on any clothes. You are listening to the most truthful talk show host in the business. Unbought, unbossed, unleashed, and unafraid of the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the butt naked truth. Charles, I want to welcome you, Ryan, Tyree, Malachi, Byron. Y'all buckle up, because this is going to be a rough ride. And if you have some comments, feel free to comment so that we can respond to your comments. I was on Facebook and I saw that Mmoja Wally had written an article for the Indianapolis Star. And in that, let me go back. There's an article in the Indianapolis Star and it states, Indianapolis homicides are down for the first time in years. Here's why no one is celebrating. Antoine Kirkland doesn't consider himself out of touch with the Indianapolis streets where he used to spend too much time, but he does admit to fearing them more with each passing years. What's making you afraid, Antoine? He says, there are so many parts of the city I used to kick it in that I don't even go to anymore because something might happen. I don't even like going to the mall. The fact that just going to the mall can be dangerous is crazy. Danielle, glad you tuned in. These are the stats. It says no homicide record, but a tragic year. A total of 154 criminal homicide cases were investigated by IMPD, Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department, last year, according to an IndyStar analysis of IMPD's homicide. What's the solution? Where they go to the new IMPD chief, Randall Taylor, who lost his father-in-law to gun violence during a 1998 shooting in Fort Wayne. He says he plans, to include hitting the streets and making personal connections with those committing acts of violence. Now, how do you do that? You just go on the street and you know who it is that's committing acts of violence. That sounds like that you might be targeting, or what do they call it? I forget the name. He also wants to bolster the department's cold case unit to crack unsolved cases. So his solution is to go on the streets, and somehow he knows who's going to commit a murder, talk to them, interact with them before they commit the murder, and that's the solution. Also, he's going to put some more muscle to the department's cold case. Those are murders that was fraternal order of police. What's his solution? Last week, he detailed a 7-part plan to curb violence that requires buy-in from local and state officials. Okay, what's the buy-in he's looking for? His policy recommendations include the establishment of a new city commission to examine criminal justice outcomes, a review of bond structures to address what he calls a catch and release criminal justice system, and requiring that every arrestee intake be reviewed by a judge. Now, y'all know Snyder's review of bond structures to address what he calls a catch and release called a stir last week. And that stir, Shelly, how you doing? That stir, Diana, Tyra, and Joe, that stir was because Shane Shepherd Charles Harrison was buying in to Snyder's position, which he said was to keep young black males longer into the prison, and he said he couldn't support that. Shane was saying that Charles Harrison was working with the police in a way that was detrimental to the people that he's supposed to be serving, the people of African descent. And he was talking about he was going to go through Harrison's church and he was going to give that brother a hug, and he was going to hug the hell out of him. Well, it caused a stir because this video that Shane made went viral. And at a meeting that was conducted by Gregory Merriweather under the auspices of the African American Coalition in Indianapolis, he came to that meeting and he apologized. He said he had said some things in the video that he didn't say. He was willing to talk to Pastor Harrison to see if they couldn't come together and work together. But he was going to Pastor Harrison's church. Greg Merriweather informed me that he had told Shane not to go there because it was a trap. Now, I don't know what trap it was supposed to be, and then I got information that Pastor Harrison had signed out a protective order against Shane, and if he came through there, he'll be arrested. Well, I looked on the protective order list, and Pastor Harrison had not done anything like that. See, this is the reason why we got to talk to each other. We just can't go by what is said on Facebook. You got to check your references. And Lord knows it would be the benefit of this community if all of the factions could come together and agree to push one way to stop the murders that are going into the street. But I would submit that using the police, raising bonds, walking with the police in the neighborhood, stereotyping everybody that's in the neighborhood as being the next potential murderer, I would submit that that's not the solution. I would submit that the solution is not a police solution, but an economic solution. When you look at this article, it goes on to talk about the roots of the violence. What is the root? I'm saying the root is economics, but what did they say? Last year's homicide data shows that black males continue to be the hardest hit. They accounted for 95 of the year's 154 criminal homicides, or 6 out of 10 of the people in Indianapolis that were killed were males of African descent. If you look at the economic income of males of African descent in Indianapolis, you will find that their income, our income, is lower than any other demographic in the city. If you don't have no money, it's a good chance you're going to take some money, because it takes money to pay for the rent. It takes money to eat. It takes money to take care of babies. It takes money to put gas in cars. It takes money to get your children into school. It takes money to feed them babies, clothe them babies, house those babies, and get them where they have to go. And who has the most problem with having income? Black males. Since 2014, young black males have been 4 times more likely than other demographic groups to become victims of criminal homicides, according to the STARS analysis. Well, if you do the economic analysis, Indianapolis Star, you will find that probably black males' income is 4 times less than anybody else's, if not more. People who have money don't be out here trying to commit no crime to get money. They're too worried about spending money. Now this is Marshawn, and he gets to the point somewhat. Marshawn Woley, a public affairs lecturer at Indiana University, Purdue University, Indianapolis, IUPUI, ooey pooey, said those statistics are why the city needs a greater focus on addressing the issues plaguing black men in Indianapolis. I concur. He says the root causes of conflict in the black community can be traced back to issues like food insecurity, money, housing struggles, you homeless, money, unemployment, can't make no money, drug abuse, trying to self-medicate because you don't have the money to take care of all this other stuff. He says, and I agree, but where does the money come from? He says when you're picking up a gun and shooting somebody, it's because you have decided that's the best decision you can make in that particular moment. It's not a forward-looking, future-oriented kind of disposition. It's more survival oriented. How do you survive? You got to have resources. You got to have an economy that takes care of your expenses at least. You want your economy, your personal economy, to take care of your expenses and some, because you don't want to just have the things that you need. You want to be in a position to do some things that you want to do. You might want to go to a movie, which is not necessary, but damn. Only thing you can do is eat, sleep, and go to work. Damn, surely you can go to a movie. Or maybe you, instead of having the wife in the kitchen, maybe you can take her out to where that y'all can get a decent meal. So you want income that not only takes care of your needs, but can supply some of your wants. Woolley, now he's quoted in the Indianapolis Star, but see, if you really want to get down to the lowdown, you got to go with the black publication, the Indianapolis Recorder. The Indianapolis Recorder has allowed Marshawn to break his comments in the Star down a little further. Listen to what he says. And this article came out January 21st, and God bless it. Y'all better go and support the Recorder. Because we need to know what's happening in our community from a perspective of people of African descent. I mean, it ain't nothing wrong with listening to the white folks, but the white folks ain't gonna tell y'all the story. If you listen to the white folks, you'd have thought that Sean Shepherd was gonna go through Pastor Harrison's church and there was gonna be an altercation, and he went through that. And I was there, recorded it. I had an article which I wanted to bring with me that says the most deaths among black men is caused by the police. How? Ajabu, now don't blame me. I'm telling you that was the article, and I'm going to bring it the next time so that I can quote it precisely. I'm telling you, I'm unbossed, and unafraid. Unleashed to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the butt-naked truth. We can't use Snyder as a resource to come up with a solution of what's happening in our community of people of African descent. Snyder defends the racist police on the department to say that they have the right to carry out their racist proclivities that is causing our death. Why in the world would we listen to Rick Snyder? Now, and that doesn't mean we don't talk to him, but we don't need to look to him for solutions. He never. And let me go back to the recorder because it allows Marshawn to expound. He says, and the name of his article is "I'm Just Saying, Reducing Homicides." Excuse me. He says Black Indianapolis experienced a rocky start in 2020 from a quick flurry of 10 homicides only 12 days into 2020. That's almost somebody getting killed once a day. IMPD has now released both the criminal homicide data as well as non-fatal shooting data from 2019. The vast majority of violence is occurring in our community, and our is the community of people of African descent. When you look at the community of people of African descent, where is the most poverty? Where is the worst schools? Hell, if you're on the Far East Side, you ain't even got a grocery store that you can go to. All of that is economic based. In the last 4 years, there has been 616 criminal homicides in Indianapolis and 450. And I'm laying out the problem right now. There's a solution. And it's an easy solution. It's not a difficult solution. In fact, if I go on and leap to it, the solution is for the city of Indianapolis to follow the law of the city of Indianapolis. I just said something. I'm telling you, I'm unbought. That this is a well-dressed lie to say that people of African descent are prone to murder. If you deprive anybody, be they black, white, Jew, Gentile, of economics, the crime gonna go up. I don't care. I mean, it's directly proportional. And you can see it. You can see it now. I'm 70 years old. 50 years ago, there was people on the corner begging. But you can bet that there was a person of African descent. Now, they tell me that they out there fighting. The white folks are saying, this is my corner. You better get off my corner, Negro. I need to get this dollar. So now here it is. You got, and not only white folks, white males out there with their hand out trying to get a dollar. A demographic that is supposed to be the top of the pillar of the ladder of economic proclivity, and he out there begging. You didn't see that 50 years ago, 40 years ago. That's probably in the last 20 years, if that long. And then if you look at the TV now, Kokomo, white boy ran up in the bank. Avon, white boy ran up in the bank. They out there because they have been deprived of resources. And if they can't make a living, they take a living. Now what they're trying to say, though, that was, them Negroes done took my job. Them people of African descent done took my job. Them Mexicans done took my job. Them people from Haiti done took my job. No! The decisions being made by the government has caused the economy to damn near implode. But Marshawn is on top of it. He says within the last 4 years, we lost over 100 black males twice inside a year. Boy, we got to stop it. But I'm saying the root that's causing that kind of thinking to where is that we feel that we have to murder for money. I'm saying it's economics. This isn't just a black problem. This is Marshawn again. Now watch this. Watch this. Not only because violence might impact a tourist. A tourist? You're talking about the money of the city. A tourist? Someone that came outside of Indianapolis to come into Indianapolis to spend some money. He's talking about the money. He said, this is just a black problem, not only because violence might impact a tourist or a business location decision. People don't want to come here because of the violence. That's the money. It is an Indianapolis problem due to the culpability of city leaders over the years whose policy indifference or bad policies undermine the prosperity, Marshawn, you facking, buddy, stability and cohesion of our community. What does he mean? How can the city's policy impact the prosperity and the safety of our community? Well, it's the law. Ajabu, what are you talking? I done told y'all I'm unbought. Unbought and unafraid of the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the butt naked truth. Starla, can you stand it? Jonathan, how you been, man? And I see you trying to bring food to the neighborhood. I see you. Women, and that's a white dude trying to help solve a black problem, a problem of African people of African descent. Jackie, how you been? Kendrick, how you been? And Tom Slick, he's in the room. He's in the room. Look, I'm telling you, the solution is for the city to follow the law. The solution to the murders and the crime that's running rampant in Indianapolis is for the city to follow the law. What is the law? The law says that at least 15% of the city's business should be done with businesses owned by people of African descent. Yeah, that's what it says. And so watch this. Let me give you an example of how crime, because I'm getting ahead of myself just a little bit. I want to close out with that, and I got to hurry because time is fleeing. But how crime is economic based. In Pastor Charles Harrison, I got this from him. He tweeted this. He said, 3 juveniles are arrested in connection with alleged drug deal that led to Kokomo teen's death. That teen died because of money. Kokomo police announced the arrest of 3 juveniles Tuesday in connection with a teen's deadly shooting. Juveniles trying to get some money because they daddy and they mama can't house, feed, and clothe them at home. Officers found 15-year-old Dalton Fisher suffering from what appeared to be gunshot wounds. Medical personnel pronounced him dead at the scene. Now, you would think that this is people of African descent, but when they talk about the next day, Fisher's sister, 22-year-old Kylie Fisher, was arrested on charges of neglect of a dependent, possession of a handgun without a permit, and dealing a controlled substance. When you look at her picture, she looked like a white woman to me. Now, she might be a light woman, but she looked like a white woman to me. So now if she is a white woman, I'm going to say her brother is a white male. He's probably hanging out with white males. The person that they killed was probably a white male. Because people kill people that they're around. You don't find too many people going to other people's neighborhood to kill people. They kill where they are. And so now, because they don't have the resources in their community, in their home, they done went out here and killed somebody. Watch this. And I'm trying to make a point on how crime is an economic problem. According to police, Kylie Fisher drove her younger brother to the Lincolnwood apartments in a black, see, y'all thought I was getting ready to say neighborhood. No, not black neighborhood. In a black Pontiac Grand Prix, because the two planned to sell marijuana there. All right? They going to get some money. Once they arrived, two males got into the Pontiac, leading to an altercation in which shots were fired. It was all about money. Witnesses reported seeing at least two males running from the vehicle. It's all about money. Here it is, you got a young male dead because they trying to get some money selling marijuana, and the people who were supposed to buy the marijuana decided to take the marijuana, and in the process, somebody died. Where does the money come from? Again, the law in Indianapolis says, Kingred, that the city must do at least 15% of its business with businesses owned by people of African descent. If the city starts honoring the law, I bet you the crime rate decreases exponentially, or however you say that word. Quickly. Expedition. Without abatement. you ain't no hurdles. Yeah. I talked to Vop Osley, who is the president of the City County Council. And the law says that if the city does not continue to make the goal of at least 15%, then the city should make that goal, make the law a set aside. Bob told me, well, it's against the law, federal law. Not so. The SBA, Small Business Association, which is a federal government organization, says that you must use set aside procurement in order to meet the goals. And if you're not meeting the goal, then you need to do the set aside. So VOP, we're looking for you to champion the City County Council as its president to move to make the law stronger so that the mayor honors the law and starts making that money come through the neighborhood so that crime goes down. And if you don't do it, then the deaths, the murders that we're seeing is because you are not doing what the law says you're supposed to do. We're going to hold you accountable. I'm looking forward to meeting you. And I sent you this. And I talked to you, what was that, Saturday? And you said that you was going to check with your lawyers. Well, you don't have to check. It's the law. You've been listening. The elder Mmoja Ajabu, the most truthful talk show host in the business. Unbought, unbossed, and unafraid of the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the butt naked truth. You ready?
This is not a test.
If you listen to this program, you're gonna get the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the butt naked truth. This program is X-rated. You ready?
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
You are now tuned into the world's most honest talk show host, the Elder Mmoja. Ajabu.